I've lost count of the sure thing 9mm pistols I've watched choke when it counted. It's never the ones everyone brags about that actually save you. This year I watched expensive legends jam, while the sleeper pistol nobody cared about stepped up and changed everything I thought I knew about trust. You get burned once or twice, you start to realize nobody cares what you paid or what the hype says when you're staring at a dead trigger. 2025 is the year old favorites finally got exposed. Resale charts flipped upside down, and the guns you ignored last season became the only ones that could actually save your hide. A couple of these picks nearly cost me more than just pride, and one quietly did what no proven pistol could. Ignore this list, and next time you're in a real pinch, you'll remember you were warned. You want to know what best really means in 2025? It isn't always about hype or new releases. I've watched every new shooter and half the old dogs walk into the range, skip the fancy stuff, and grab a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. Sometimes because it's their first, sometimes because it's their just in case. It's not the king anymore, but here's the truth. When things jam up, when new models choke, this is the gun everyone borrows. The Gen 5 MOS is the baseline. If you haven't put rounds through one, you don't know what reliable even feels like. Glock quietly discontinued this model, but the day the news broke, prices shot up and forums exploded. Guys who never respected Glocks before are now hunting for backups, not willing to let theirs go. Every shooter should know this pistol, not because it's flashy, but because it's the one gun nobody dares to underestimate. And if you think that's just nostalgia talking, wait till you see the gun that almost convinced me to walk away from my Glock for good. There's always that one pistol nobody wants to admit they trust. The one that wasn't in the budget, wasn't on the forums, and sure as hell wasn't anyone's dream gun. That's how I treated the Canik TP9SA Mod 2. It showed up in my safe by accident, traded for a half box of ammo and a handshake, figured it'd collect dust. Then came a streak of mechanical failures from guns I should have known better about. Custom triggers, big brands, all coughing up jams when things got gritty. Out of desperation, I reach for the Canik. It's never been cleaned, half the finish is rubbed raw, and nobody in the room believes it'll fire 2 mags straight. But it does, and again, then again. Suddenly the guys with the expensive toys are taking notes, quietly asking where to find one. That's when it hit me. There are pistols you buy for status, and there are pistols that work no matter who's watching. You don't need to believe the hype. You just need to know this gun exists. Ignore it, and you'll miss the best-kept secret in the should-know category. But don't get too confident. What's coming next will make you question what pocket pistol really means. Any junk drawer in a real shooter's house, and there's a good chance you'll find a Ruger, LCP Max. Half the time, they forgot they owned it. It isn't what you flex at the range. It's not what makes Instagram. It just rides along. Jacket pocket, glove box, sometimes at the bottom of a worn-out backpack. Nobody's ever excited to carry an LCP Max. But the weird thing? Ask around, and you'll find out most folks who actually live with a pistol, day in and day out, have one somewhere. There's always a reason. Full size was too heavy for the morning run. Didn't want to risk the fancy gun scraping against concrete on a late-night walk. Sometimes life's just too cluttered for anything bigger. You'll never see someone brag about their LCP Max. That's not the job. But talk to enough delivery drivers, off-duty cops, or anyone who's ever gotten caught unprepared. They'll tell you, it's the pistol that ends up mattering most when everything else is left behind. If you don't understand why people keep an LCP Max even when they own better guns, you don't actually understand everyday carry. And just when you're thinking, I'd never bet on something that small, wait till the next gun. It's proof old legends don't fade, they just change jobs. I used to think this kind of gun didn't belong on a serious list. Turns out that was me being wrong, not the gun. It's easy to skip over the VP9. On paper, it doesn't scream for attention. No wild colors, no influencer stunts, just plain German stubbornness. But talk to the old hands, the range instructors, the shooters who burn through cases of ammo every year, they'll tell you the same thing. You can't wear a VP9 out. Here's a test you won't see in most reviews. I watched a friend put one through a full season of steel matches, never cleaned, not even a drop of oil after the second month. Rain, dust, sweat, he shot it until the frame was warm and the slide ran gritty. People waited for it to fail. It never did. While new micro-compacts and trendy optics-ready pistols rotated in and out of holsters, the VP9 just kept firing. 2025 threw every distraction at the 9mm world, but the VP9 kept its seat at the table. It's not the first pistol people brag about, but for those who know, it's the quiet answer to what's never let you down. No flash, just a gun that keeps passing the test long after the trends move on. Some nights, good judgment goes out the window. Early December 2025, one of those bone-chilled nights where the house is too quiet. Bourbon's halfway gone, and you start poking through the safe looking for trouble. That's when I yanked the Springfield Echelon out at midnight. Half out of curiosity, half just to see if the future of handguns hype was pure noise. No plans. I stripped it down on the kitchen table, swapped the chassis, changed grips twice, even clipped on a mismatched light I found in a box of junk. Didn't bother with instructions, just that stubborn, buzzed urge to see if I could break something expensive. Next thing I know, I'm in the backyard, cheap headlamp bouncing, running a mag one-handed at the berm. Not a single hiccup. Tight group, crisp trigger. The gun not only survived my nonsense, it impressed me. I'll admit, I laughed at the Echelon all year for being too clever. Now, I'm thinking maybe that future talk isn't just marketing. And just when you think a midnight experiment can't get any weirder, wait till you see the next pick. Sometimes the guns you overlook end up saving your whole day. Every 9mm that matters in 2025 is the one you brag about at the range. Some are the quiet ones that save your skin when life doesn't go as planned. The handguns every shooter should know, but most only learn about the hard way. Spring snuck up fast this year. I was halfway out the door. Phone buzzing, 2 bags on the seat, keys, wallet, not enough coffee, and way too much road ahead. That's the kind of morning when your favorite full size just isn't practical. I grabbed the FN503 and dropped it in my jacket pocket. No pride or plan. Just one less thing to worry about. All day, city to city, sketchy parking lots, random shops, that pistol vanished into the rhythm of everything else. Didn't print, didn't shift, just rode along, silent, small, always ready. Every shooter chases big capacity and flashy slides at first, but when life gets messy, it's the 503 that's still riding with me. The rest end up back in the safe. Miss out on the 503, and you only need to get caught empty once to learn why it matters. In 2025, this is the pistol you regret leaving behind. Every shooter figures it out, one bad day at a time. Some truths don't come out at the range. They come late after midnight in my buddy's garage. We'd been wrenching on his car, blues humming from a crusty radio, burger wrappers everywhere. I always knew he kept something close, tucked behind the toolbox, but he never brought it up. One night, curiosity got the best of me. I asked, he grinned, and out came a Taurus G3X. Edges worn smooth, grip tape peeling, tape hiding the logo. No talk, no hype, just a nod as he handed it over. I put a few rounds through it in the backyard, honestly not expecting much. But it fired clean. No drama, no surprises. He'd run that pistol for years. Side jobs, long nights, places neither of us would want to talk about on camera. That G3X never made his Instagram. Never sat on the table when folks came over. It was his insurance, the kind of gun you count on, not brag about. After that night, I started keeping my own secrets a little closer too. And if you think the only guns that matter are the ones everyone talks about, you haven't seen what's next. Some legends never bother hiding, they just survive, year after year. You know how every shooter has that one pistol they lend out without a second thought? For me, it's the Beretta 92FS. It's not light, not cool, doesn't get anyone worked up at the shop, but it's the gun I hand over when somebody's fancy new piece jams up during a class or a friend's got nothing left that works. No drama. I drop the Beretta on the bench and say, try this, it'll get you through the day. It's survived more owners than any pistol I've ever known. Passed around, never babied, cleaned only when someone remembers. The trigger's familiar, the slide's heavy, but it just keeps firing, no matter who's behind it or what ammo goes in. I've watched new shooters fall for it after a few mags, suddenly asking where to find one, usually right after their own pistol taps out. Here's the truth for 2025. Some handguns you chase for hype, some you buy for pride, but the 92FS is the one you trust to get you home in one piece. That's why every shooter, new or old, should know it, even if they never thought they'd own one. And if you think only classics earn that kind of trust, wait till you see the next pick. Some pistols keep rewriting their own reputation every year. Ask any range officer or shop guy in 2025 which 9mm pistol they'd hand to a new shooter, and 9 times out of 10, you'll see an M&P 9 2.0 compact come out of the case. That's not hype. That's just what works when you need a gun that doesn't care if you're brand new or 10,000 rounds deep. The first time I noticed, I was watching a line of new shooters, nervous and sweaty, getting handed rental after rental. Glock's got the side-eye, SIG's got dropped. But the M and P just fit. Slide rack's easy, grip feels natural, nothing fights you. Even the old-timers, the guys who've owned everything, end up drifting back, picking one up just to see if it's as good as they say, and then quietly never putting it down. I used to overlook it. Figured it was just another polymer pistol. Now I keep one close because no matter who shows up or what happens, it's the gun I trust not to embarrass me or anyone else. Some pistols make a name with flash. The M&P 9 2.0 Compact made its reputation by getting the job done for every kind of shooter. If you don't know this gun yet, you will, one way or another. Everybody said the CZP-10C was just another striker-fired clone, until it started outshooting the big names in 2025. If you care about real-world performance, you need to know this gun. I'll be honest, I was one of those doubters. Figured CZ was just jumping on the polymer bandwagon trying to cash in. The forums were full of noise, Glock this, SIG that, CZ's just late to the party. So I borrowed a friend's P10C for a range day, half ready to prove it was nothing special. That backfired in about 3 magazines. The grip locked in better than half the ergonomic wonders I'd owned. Trigger surprised me. Clean, tight, not a hint of grit. After an hour, I was trading shots with my own carry, and the P10C just kept stacking hits. Ended up trading off my old standby a week later. Funny how the copycat ended up being the one that actually beat the originals. In 2025, the insiders aren't whispering about it anymore. Every shooter who cares about what really works should know this gun, because the secret's out. Just before 2026 this month, my brother called. He sounded half proud, half nervous. "I gave the kid the PDP Match SF," he said. Not the old revolver from Grandpa, not a beater. This one. The gun he'd trusted through late shifts, highway stops, first matches, and nights when only steel under the mattress felt like sleep insurance. It wasn't a trophy, it was a tool with a record. He handed it over with a set of keys, a crooked grin, and a warning. This one's earned. Funny thing is, nobody plans on making an heirloom out of a modern gun. It just happens. One day you look down, and the slide's worn where your thumb rides, the grip's polished by habit, the sights are still dead on. The PDP Match SF didn't wait decades to matter. It's already doing the work most pistols only dream about. That's what makes it different. Some guns wait years to be trusted. This one just got passed down, no questions asked. Before the year flipped, it was already a family legend. Proof you don't have to wait a lifetime for a should-know pistol. Some reputations are built overnight, and if you blink, you'll miss your chance. You can spend years building loyalty to one pistol. Swear by it, defend it, call it your only real option. Then some random morning, it jams. You're out the door for a trip, time's tight, and everything you trusted is suddenly out of the fight. Panic hits, but there's the SIG P365X macro in the safe. New, barely broken in, just a backup, or so you thought. Throw it on, tell yourself it's only for today. But a couple hours later, you realize it's not fighting for pocket space, not chewing up your side, not drawing attention anywhere. First stop, you shoot it cold. No warm-ups, no excuses. Recoil's nothing. Sights come up fast, grip just sits right. By lunch, you're moving through drills smoother than you ever did with your real carry. The kicker? All those years chasing the perfect do-it-all gun, and the one that steps up when you need it most is the one you nearly left behind. You start thinking, maybe all those shooters talking about the X macro aren't just chasing trends, they figured out something before you did. And if you think this gun's upset your comfort zone, just wait for number 1. What comes next is the definition of untouchable. The pistol that shatters every list, every expectation, and every single excuse you have left. You should avoid this pistol. Not because some people think it's overpriced or too pretty for real work. Forget all that. Avoid it because once you shoot a Wilson SFX9, everything else starts to feel a little empty. That's the warning nobody gives you. I spent years rolling my eyes at the name and the price. Nobody needs a boutique pistol. Saw it on forums in glass cases, thought it was built for show. Then one day, a buddy tossed his SFX9 my way. Told me to stop talking and just shoot. So I did. The first pull felt like it cheated physics. Every shot landed where I pointed. Trigger disappears, grip locks in. Suddenly my whole collection at home seemed a step behind. What changes you isn't the price tag. It's the feeling when you go back to your old favorites and realize you're only pretending. You start making up reasons to take the Wilson out, even if you swore you wouldn't get sucked in. It's not flashy, it's not loud. It's just the one that quietly ruins your appetite for almost everything else. And if you think this is the last time you'll be surprised by what matters, wait till you stumble on what's hiding behind the curtain. The bonus picks are never what you expect. Nobody expects a 1911 to sneak onto a bonus slot for a modern 9mm list. But the Colt Defender doesn't show up for nostalgia. It's here because it flat out works. Put this in front of anyone who thinks all old guns are just for collectors and watch the smirk fade after a single magazine. Most days, the polymer crowd wins the numbers game. More rounds, lighter carry, faster reloads. But hand someone a Defender, let them run a box through it, and you see the confusion set in. The weight soaks up recoil, the short frame points naturally, and that trigger breaks with a kind of honesty most new pistols fake. You see the same look every time. Why does this shoot so well? Maybe it's the history, maybe it's the steel, maybe it's just that sometimes a classic gets the fundamentals right. It isn't here to compete with the new school, it's here to remind everyone what a 9mm can feel like when nothing gets in the way. And before you start thinking bonus picks are just afterthoughts, just wait. There's another one coming that rewrites the rules all over again. Some pistols look too perfect for their own good. The Staccato XC is built like a trophy, priced like a dare, and feels like it should be someone else's problem. I saw one get pulled from a case at a dusty backroad match. Nobody said a word, just loaded up and ran it under a ticking clock. Watching, I expected drama. Malfunctions, excuses, maybe a temper tantrum. Instead, the shots landed fast, flat, and quiet. I got my turn, fully prepared to be unimpressed. I was wrong. Every round found its way, the trigger faded out, and my own stubbornness couldn't keep up. You don't have to be a fan to know you've just shot something that redefines the category. The XC doesn't care if you doubt it, it just delivers. And for any shooter who thinks they know the limits of best, there's no skipping this one. If any of these pistols let you down, or saved you when it got ugly, you know what matters now. We're all just one bad mag away from getting humbled, and the only thing worse than carrying the wrong gun is doing it twice. So what did I leave out? Which 9mm would you stake your last chance on, or warn everyone to stay away from? Drop it in the comments and don't hold back. I'm not dodging any real story that shows up, but don't think this was the end. The next list I've got coming? It's going to shatter a few more comfort zones and ruin the party for some untouchable favorites. If you keep following the crowd, don't be surprised when you end up alone. I'm Steve. Catch you in the next video.